First, settle in. Let your shoulders loosen, as if they're unbuttoning themselves from the day. Breathe in, as if the breath were a slow wave rolling toward a quiet shore, and breathe out as the wave slips back to sea. Inhale again, and imagine the air arriving like soft, pale light. Exhale, and let any remaining tightness melt like frost in morning Sunday. Feel the gentle weight of warmth around you, a blanket of calm tucked beneath your chin. With each breath, your thoughts grow lighter, as if they were snowflakes drifting in a slow, friendly breeze. Nothing is urgent here. Nothing is sharp or loud. Just comfort, safety, and the easy hush of night. When you are ready, allow your mind to walk with you into a far northern evening where the world is crystal clean and quiet. You stand at the edge of a small, wooden cabin that glows with golden lamplight. The air is cool but kind, a tender cold that brushes your cheeks with crisp tingles, then steps back as if to say, "Welcome." Your boots sink softly into new snow powdery, feather, light, and dotted with tiny star sparks, where moonlight has come to rest. Every step is a slow exhale. Every breath is a small lantern warming you from within. Above, the sky is a lake of velvet, deep and steady. Stars sprinkle across it in bright, polished almond slivers. The moon floats like a pearl on a dark ribbon, and faint along the northern horizon, a green shimmer stirs an aurora, thinking about waking up. You listen. The only sounds are gentle, a shy wind humming behind the pines, the soft sequin, swish of snow sliding from a bough, and, very far away, the low purr of sea ice shifting in its sleep. Inside the cabin, everything smells of cedar and cinnamon. A kettle murmurs on the iron stove. The heat, sweet and steady, peels away the chill from your scarf and mittens. You hang them on a peg and run your hand over the wooden table. It is smooth and warm, rubbed with beeswax until it gleams like amber. On the table sits a little envelope, the color of a polar dawn, pale pink, almost silver, edges frosted, with a dusting of glitter that looks like frost, but doesn't melt under your fingertip. The envelope bears your name in curving ink, a script that seems to have been written by the sky itself. When you open it, the paper sighs like a satisfied breath, and inside you find a card painted with a small white silhouette, a bear as serene as a cloud. Beneath it, a message: tonight, when the aurora flowers, step out to the snowfield and follow the lanterns. I will be waiting. Your friend of the North. You read it twice, not from doubt, but to absorb the warmth that flows from the letters, like a cup of tea held between both hands. Your friend of the North, you think, and somewhere in your chest a door opens on quiet wonder. As evening deepens, you wrap yourself in a wool coat, soft as a whisper. The kettle sings. You pour a mug of mint and spruce needle tea. Steam curls into the air like pale ribbon, carrying a scent of clean forests and sparkling water. You sip, and the warmth travels down, a straight beam of comfort spreading into your chest. When you step outside again, the aurora has truly awakened. She lifts herself across the sky like silk and moss and ocean light greens and pearly whites and the faintest blush of pink, moving slowly like very dignified seaweed in a gentle tide. You feel your breath match the aurora's graceful rhythm, in and the lights gather, out and the lights bloom. Snow lanterns, little glass jars filled with candles have been set at intervals across the white meadow beyond the pines. Their glow is honey gold, soft as fur, and they beckon you the way open arms beckon a returning friend. You follow, footsteps pressing quiet ovals into the snow. Each lantern flickers kindly when you pass, as if nodding in approval. At the far end of the field, a shape emerges, first as a suggestion of softness, then as a clearly defined presence. A polar bear, pale as a moonbeam, large as a winter dream, sitting like a patient guardian, where the field sighs into the glittering edge of sea ice. He is not merely white. He holds within his coat 100 shades of gentle brightness, the ivory of driftwood, the silver of hoarfrost, the cream of candle flame. His eyes are pools of warm night, dark and kind, with a reflected thread of aurora light dancing in each. You stop a respectful distance away, not out of fear, but out of reverence, as one does before a waterfall or a great tree. He inclines his head, and you feel the curious, childlike certainty that he has been waiting for you the way sunrise waits for morning. "Welcome," he says. Or perhaps he doesn't speak in words at all. Perhaps the welcome arrives like a soft breeze across your thoughts, as clear as speech, and far more gentle. Still, you understand him completely, as if you'd learned his language long ago in your sleep. "I am pleased. You came." You bow your head in greeting, and a little snow halo shivers from the edge of your hood. The bear tips his nose toward the horizon, where the ice lies in overlapping plates, glazed with starlight. Tonight, the message in your mind continues. We will wander where the snow remembers every footstep kindly, and the wind sings in lowercase. His voice, if voice it can be called, fills you with that special safety usually reserved for the memory of a beloved blanket or the smell of cookies on a winter afternoon. "May I know your name?" You wonder silently. He considers, then turns his great head slightly, listening to the wind, the aurora, the settling hush of distant ice flows. "You may call me Solace," he replies at last, the word humming through your heart like a tuning fork for calm. Solace, the gentle polar bear, rises gracefully. Despite his size, his movement is quiet, as if the snow itself is pleased to reshape under his paws. He gestures with a nod along the sinuous line of lanterns that continues over the frozen shore, where frost has carved tiny ferns into the face of each rock. You step beside him, and the two of you begin to wander. The world expands but stays soft. Waves under the ice murmur like a sleepy cat. Above, the aurora opens and closes its luminous wings, drifting from pale green to a milky jade. Your boot prints and Solace's paw prints travel together, an intertwined necklace of shapes, oval and star, marking a path that the wind chooses not to erase. As you walk, Solace shares stories that arrive as pictures and textures. He shows you how snow crystals grow sixfold, and simple, infinitely varied, like tiny polite miracles that greet your cheeks. He lets you feel the old, kind cold, a coolness that doesn't bite, but instead clarifies, the way clear water makes colors brighter. He shows you the breaths of seals sleeping in smooth domes of snow, each exhale lighting the dome a little from within. He shows you the trails of foxes, neat and evenly spaced, like notes in a gentle piano lullaby. You feel all this not as facts, but as sensations, personal and comforting. The lanterns lead you to an ice ridge, where low blueberry shrubs sleep under their white quilts, and a cluster of driftwood creates a natural bench. Solace settles beside it and brushes the space with his paw, smoothing it to a seat. You sit, and the ice gives slightly, supportive as a memory foam pillow, holding your shape with friendly interest. Solace breathes, a a long, slow exhale that smells faintly of snow lilies and distant salt. In that breath, a memory stirs, though it may not be your own. You feel the long light of Arctic days, when sunrises are not moments, but hours of pink and gold, and the deep blues of winters, where night is a soft, patient companion. You feel the companionship of long horizons, their honesty and ease. Beside you, solace hums a sound like a low cello played by a gloved hand, and the hum settles into your rib cage, aligning it with a rhythm slower than worry and older than time. You belong to quiet, the feeling says. It has been waiting for you. Your shoulders drop another half-inch. Your face softens, as if lit from within. The aurora seems to lean closer, intrigued by your ease, and it paints a new wash of color, a gentle blue-green that reminds you of candlelight seen through glass. The sea answers with a whispering creak, like an old door politely clearing its throat. Everything in this place practices good manners, even the ice. After a while, Solace nudges a small pack that you hadn't noticed in the snow beside him. From it, he produces a thermos and 2 enamel cups, one patterned with tiny pine branches, the other with a line of small fish that looks as though it's swimming when you tilt the cup. He pours you something pale and steaming cloud tea, he tells you without speaking. It tastes like warm milk and winter blossoms and a hint of vanilla. With each sip, you feel sleep approach, but in the gentle, graceful way that a dusk arrives. No hurry, no darkness, just the color slowly deepening until you realize the stars have come out to keep you company. When your cup is empty, Solace lifts his head and shows you something remarkable. Far on the horizon, the aurora gathers itself into a soft arc and unfurls like a banner, rippling lightly. The green deepens and then pales, and along its hem tiny white lights sparkle like seeds, like notes falling toward the land. When they reach the snow, they do not extinguish but nestle, each becoming a little star you can pick up and place in your pocket. Solace selects one with his paw, and with a care both grand and tender, offers it to you. It rests in your palm, pleasantly cool, then warms until it matches your skin. The light remains, a gentle, pearly glow. For safekeeping, the feeling tells you, a lantern for your thoughts. You tuck the star into your coat, close to your heart. It hums very faintly, vibrating with your calm breath. Solace looks pleased. There is more to see, he imparts, more to feel without any need to chase. He rises, and the snow accepts his weight like an old friend. You stand with him, lighter than before, as though the star has replaced a handful of worries you no longer need to carry. Together, you turn from the driftwood bench and follow the next ring of lanterns, their flames bowing gently in the thoughtful wind. The path curves toward a low arc of ice caves, their mouths fringed with silver icicles that ring softly when the air moves through them. Tiny chimes, patient and kind. Solace glances toward you, an invitation without pressure, a promise without urgency. When you step forward, the sound deepens, ding, ding, then a padded hush, and the aurora's glow pools at the cave entrance like melted moonlight, painting the snow with a luminous sheen. You feel the story opening, not like a door swinging wide, but like a flower unfolding in slow motion, petal by petal, each one ready only when it is ready, each one revealing more gentleness than the last. You breathe with the cave's hush and the bear's steady presence, and together you cross the threshold into the first chamber of ice. The moment you step into the first chamber of the ice cave, The world outside seems to fade into a soft, respectful silence. The snowfields, the pines, the aurora, they all wait patiently beyond the entrance, content to let you rest in this glowing sanctuary for a while. The air here is cool, yet not unkind. It wraps around you like silk, chilled by moonlight. Each breath carries the freshness of untouched glaciers and the faint sweetness of frozen berries. The walls themselves glimmer as if they have been brushed with starlight. Blues and greens ripple through the ice, shifting like water held still, then released. Some places are clear as glass, others cloudy with ancient whispers trapped inside. Tiny air bubbles sparkle like constellations, scattered across the frozen surface in delicate clusters. You run your fingers across the ice. It is smooth, polished by centuries of quiet patience, and it hums faintly beneath your touch, as though each wall remembers songs it once heard from the wind. Beside you, Solace pads softly, his enormous paws muffled by the snow-packed floor. He looks perfectly at home here, as if the cave itself recognizes him and bends its glow to flatter his white fur. He lowers his head and makes a small, deep sound, something between a sigh and a hum. Immediately, the chamber responds. A chord rises from the walls, soft bells and resonant chimes echoing gently, as though the ice has been waiting for his voice. You close your eyes, letting the music wrap around you. It's not loud. It is as though every note was designed to soothe, to settle, to bring your heart into the rhythm of long winters and endless stars. Solace glances at you, and you understand without words. Here, you may hum as well. So you let out a quiet sound, low and steady, matching the pace of your breath. The ice listens, catches your voice, and folds it gently into the cave's lullaby. It feels as if you are singing with the earth itself. As you move deeper into the cave, small crystals appear on the ground, scattered like forgotten jewels. Some are the size of teardrops, others no larger than seeds. They glow faintly when you step near, not harshly, but with a glow soft as fireflies. You crouch to touch one, and it thrums lightly in your palm. The warmth spreads into your fingers and up your arm, easing muscles you didn't realize were tight. These are memory crystals, Solace communicates gently. They carry the calm of every snowfall, every night spent in quiet peace. You slip the crystal into your pocket next to the tiny aurora star, and for a moment you feel as though you were carrying two small heartbeats near your chest, one of light, one of calm. The path within the cave bends and curves, leading into a chamber taller than a cathedral. Here the ceiling arches high, and through the thick ice above you, the aurora glows faintly, filtered into soft green and pale blue. Icicles hang down like long glass organs, and when the wind sighs through hidden vents, they sing each a different pitch, together forming chords as delicate as lullabies played on a harp. Solace pauses in the center of the chamber, his breath misting into the cold, and lies down upon the icy floor, as if inviting you to join. You sink down beside him, the ground surprisingly soft, as though the ice has molded itself to cradle your body. Lying there, you feel your heartbeat slowing. The song of the icicles blends with the sound of your breath, with the rise and fall of Solace's chest beside you. The cave is not empty. It is filled with gentle presence, the kind you sense but cannot measure, like the feeling of being tucked in, or of someone humming you to sleep from another room. Slowly, a story unfolds, not told in words but in images cast against the walls. The ice itself becomes a storyteller, You see images of long winters when reindeer slept under the lights of the aurora, of owls gliding silently across snowy valleys, of children laughing as they pulled sleds across frozen lakes, their joy preserved forever in crystal echoes. You see polar bears walking in the distance, large and soft, never fierce, just steady, part of the land like clouds are part of the sky. And then you see yourself walking under those same skies, hand extended toward a glowing path of lanterns, guided by solace. The ice accepts you as part of its story. Warmth swells in your chest, even though the air is cool. You nestle deeper against the snowbed, your head tilting toward Solace's thick, comforting fur. It smells faintly of cedar smoke and fresh snow, a fragrance that feels older than memory, yet entirely safe. His eyes close, and you feel him radiating calm, so powerful, it's almost a blanket of its own. The music of the cave lulls you further inward, into that cozy twilight space, where dreams begin to form, but you're still awake enough to notice their edges. The air hums softly, the crystals pulse gently. Everything is balanced, everything aligned. After some time, Solace stirs. He rises slowly, shakes a dusting of frost from his back, and looks toward the far side of the chamber. There an arch of ice forms a tunnel, glowing faintly pink and gold, as though a dawn is hiding inside. The lantern path continues in that direction, flames flickering like little companions, waiting to walk with you again. It is time to see the next wonder, Solace's presence tells you, gentle as ever. You stand, brushing the soft frost from your coat. The memory crystal in your pocket thrums in agreement, as if excited to witness what comes next. Solace leads, and you follow, footsteps echoing faintly but warmly in the great crystalline hall. As you pass under the glowing archway, the sound of icicle chimes fades behind you, replaced by something new, the faint trickle of water, like a spring running beneath the ice. Ahead, the tunnel opens wider, and the golden glow strengthens, as if a secret sunrise is waiting to greet you in the heart of the frozen world. You pause at the threshold, taking one last look back at the crystal cave. The icicles glisten, the walls shimmer with remembered lullabies, and the place seems to give you a farewell nod, promising it will always remember your visit. Then, with Solace by your side, you step forward into the tunnel of gold. The first step into the golden tunnel feels like stepping into the heart of a candle flame. The ice walls, once pale blue and silver, now shimmer with soft honey light, as though the sun itself has poured its warmth into every surface. The glow is not harsh, it is filtered and mellow, like sunlight falling through amber glass. The air here feels different too, still cool enough to refresh your lungs, yet tinged with a gentle warmth that eases the tension in your shoulders. Your footsteps make a hushed crunch upon the snow-covered floor, and the sound seems to echo softly as though the tunnel itself is humming along with you. Above, icicles droop in slender curtains, each one golden and translucent. When Solace brushes past, they chime faintly, delicate as wind bells strung across a garden porch. The scent changes here. It is no longer just the clean frost of winter, but something deeper and sweeter like honeycomb, mixed with the faint spice of cloves. You breathe it in and feel it linger pleasantly on your tongue, as if the very air was brewed to comfort you. As you walk further, you notice that the tunnel is dotted with pockets of glowing crystals embedded in the walls. They resemble lanterns, but these are natural, grown from the earth. Each one flickers gently, not with fire, but with a slow pulse, like a heartbeat. When you pass, the crystals respond, their glow brightening for a moment before returning to calm. It is as though they are acknowledging you, recognizing your presence as part of their quiet rhythm. Solace pauses beside one particularly large crystal, its surface smooth and oval, like a window. He tilts his head, encouraging you to step closer. As you gaze into it, the light within shifts and swirls, painting scenes not of the past, but of possibilities, dreams, yet to be dreamed. You see a field of soft moss under a summer aurora, a library where books float in the air like birds, a train of clouds carrying passengers across mountain peaks. Each vision is fleeting, gentle, never demanding to be chosen. They appear like suggestions, whispered by a friend who knows you well, each one an invitation to rest in wonder. You watch until the visions fade into golden ripples, leaving your heart lighter. Dream crystals, Solace communicates gently. They remind us that imagination is a place of safety. You smile at the thought, tucking the memory of those glowing dreams into your mind like you would tuck a note into a journal. Then you continue onward. The tunnel gradually widens into a cavern where the ceiling arches high, as if you've entered a grand hall designed not for grandeur, but for stillness. Hanging from the ceiling are icicles, shaped like chandeliers, each glowing softly, dripping with golden radiance. Beneath them, shallow pools of melted snow reflect the lights, their surfaces rippling faintly as though stirred by invisible hands. You kneel by one pool, dipping your fingers into the water. It is cool, but not icy, soothing, like a stream in springtime. When you bring your hand to your lips, the water tastes faintly sweet, like melted honey, stirred with vanilla. It leaves behind a lingering calm, as though your body has just been wrapped in another layer of comfort. Solace settles down beside the pool, his great body folding gracefully into the snow. His eyes, deep and knowing, reflect the chandelier glow above. For a moment, neither of you speak. There is no need. The silence is not empty, it is full, brimming with presence. You lean against him, your back warmed by the thick fur of his side. It feels like leaning against a mountain made of comfort. Solace hums again, a vibration so deep and slow that it passes into you, sinking with your breath. The pool before you mirrors not just your face, but the aurora's shimmer, faint though it is, reaching all the way into this golden cavern. You close your eyes and listen. Somewhere in the distance, water drips in a soft rhythm. The golden crystals pulse faintly, like the rise and fall of breathing. The air vibrates with Solace's steady hum. It all blends into a single lullaby, the lullaby of the earth, of timeless patience, of safety that does not need to be proven, because it's simply island. For a time, you lose track of how long you sit there. Seconds and minutes melt into one another, the way snow melts into water and water into steam. Time feels less like a clock and more like a soft current carrying you onward. When Solace eventually stirs, it is not abrupt. It is like the sun gently leaning into the horizon, ready for dusk. He rises, nudging you softly with his nose, urging you to stand. His message is clear. There is more yet to see. The golden cavern narrows once more into a tunnel, though now the walls begin to shift again. The glow of honey light gradually mingles with hues of pale green and silver. Ahead, you hear a sound you haven't yet encountered on this journey, the murmur of running water, faint but persistent, like a brook singing under ice. You and Solace follow the sound, lantern crystals lighting the way until you see the tunnel open into another chamber. This one is filled with soft mist, curling and drifting as though dreams themselves had gathered here to rest. At the center, a small waterfall flows down from the ice above, its surface shimmering with aurora colors that have followed you inside. The air carries the scent of pine and fresh rain, cool and invigorating. Solace pauses at the edge of the misty chamber. He turns his head toward you, his gaze steady and tender, a silent invitation to step closer to the shimmering falls. And as you approach, you feel it, the sense that this place is more than a cavern. It is a threshold, a gateway to deeper peace, where the heart may wander further than the feet. You stand at the threshold of the mist-filled chamber, the air cool and fragrant with pine and fresh rain. The mist curls softly around your boots, brushing against your ankles, as though it has come to greet you. Ahead, the waterfall flows gently, not rushing, not loud, but pouring like liquid silk down the ice wall. Its waters glow faintly with the hues of the aurora, streaks of green, violet, and silver weaving together in a living tapestry of light. Solace steps forward first, his paws making no sound as he crosses the snow-softened floor. You follow, your footsteps joining the quiet music of water and air. The closer you come, the more you notice that the waterfall's sound is not merely a sound, it is a language, soft and ancient, a weaving of words, not spoken aloud, but felt. As the mist rises, you breathe it in, and your chest loosens, as if sighs you hadn't known you were carrying have been released. The air tastes faintly of mint leaves kissed by rain, leaving your mouth cool and refreshed. You close your eyes for a moment, and in the gentle roar of falling water, you begin to hear whispers, not alarming, not urgent, just like the rustle of pages turning in a library. You step nearer, and the voices grow clearer. They are not speaking of burdens or worries. They are telling stories. One whisper tells of foxes curled beneath snowbanks, dreaming of rabbits running through meadows. Another tells of owls gliding across star-speckled skies, their wings beating soundlessly, carrying the night's secrets safely. Another whisper is a lullaby sung by a mother sealed to her pup, the melody soft as velvet waves. Each whisper is a dream remembered, stored in the flow of water so that no dream is ever lost. Solace lowers his head toward the falls and dips his nose into the mist. He closes his eyes, and for a moment you see a flicker of his dream, a vast white field beneath a sun that never sets, filled with blossoms of snow, flowers swaying in a silent breeze. His dream glows around him like a halo before dissolving back into the mist. You reach out with both hands, holding them under the cool trickle of falling water. It spills across your skin, and the whispers shift. They become more personal, drifting closer, curling into your ears like friends leaning in to share secrets meant only for you. You hear laughter, soft and kind, the laughter of moments when the heart feels light. You hear the crackle of firewood on a winter's night. You hear the sound of turning pages as someone reads aloud in a voice made only for comfort. And then, beneath all of it, you hear your own heartbeat, steady and calm, folded into the music of water until it feels like the world is breathing with you. The mist gathers around you, settling like a shawl across your shoulders. You feel warm, not from heat but from belonging, as if the cave has decided you are part of its song. Solace watches you with patient eyes, his presence an anchor that keeps you grounded even as your thoughts float like lanterns on a river. When you step back from the falls, A small droplet clings to your palm. It glows faintly, holding within it the softness of the whispers you've heard. Solace nods, and you instinctively close your fingers around it. The droplet does not vanish. Instead, it sinks into your skin, leaving behind a steady warmth that pulses with each breath. Whispers travel with you now, Solace communicates, his thoughts flowing into yours like a gentle tide. When silence feels heavy, they will remind you that silence also holds stories. You smile, and together you turn from the falls. The mist parts like a curtain, opening to a new path beyond the chamber. This path is lined with glowing moss, soft and emerald, carpeting the ice with gentle light. When you step onto it, it feels springy underfoot, like walking across cushions of air. The tunnel leads upward in a slow, winding climb. As you walk, the sound of the waterfall fades, replaced by the faint flutter of wings. You glance upward, and from cracks in the ice above, tiny white moths drift down, glowing faintly as if made of moonlight. They circle around you in solace, moving gracefully, never brushing against you but always near, like guiding stars. Solace watches them fondly. Messengers of night, his presence explains. They carry dreams between the stars and the earth. The tunnel brightens as you climb, and soon the ceiling above grows thinner, translucent. Through it, you glimpse the night sky again, the aurora painting its shifting ribbons. You realize the path is leading you upward toward the open air once more. At the tunnel's end, a round arch frames the horizon like a window. You and Solace step out together, and the view takes your breath in the softest, kindest way. You are standing upon a cliff of ice, overlooking a vast frozen sea. The aurora spills across the sky in full bloom now. Green rivers, violet blossoms, silver feathers drifting on unseen winds. The sea below reflects it all, a mirror of color and light, so complete, it feels as though you are standing between two skies. Solace settles beside you, his fur glowing under the aurora, and you feel the cliff itself steady and sure beneath your feet. The whispers of the waterfall still echo faintly in your chest, mingling with the calm of this new, open expanse. Ahead lies more wonder, but for now, you stand in stillness. You let the aurora's gentle motions sync with your breath, each inhale drawing in light, each exhale sending it back to the sky. This is not just a view, it is a moment suspended in eternity, a pause so serene it could last forever, and you would be content. You linger on the cliff of ice, gazing out over the vast expanse below. The frozen sea spreads wide, its surface smooth as glass, reflecting the aurora above in shimmering hues of emerald and silver. It feels as though the sky has doubled, and you are standing between two heavens, the real one above your head and its mirrored twin at your feet. The stars themselves seem to have scattered across the ice, glowing faintly, as if they chose to rest here for the night. The air is crisp, yet soft against your skin. Each breath carries with it the taste of salt and snow, mingled with something sweet, perhaps the faint perfume of night-blooming flowers hidden deep under the ice. You close your eyes and listen. The world is hushed, but not silent. There is the distant sigh of shifting flows, the gentle hum of wind brushing across the frozen plain, and the steady rhythm of Solace's breath beside you, as comforting as a lullaby. The great bear steps forward to the edge of the cliff and looks down upon the sea. His eyes catch the aurora's glow, and for a moment they gleam with threads of green light. Then he turns back to you, his presence settling into your mind like a hand resting lightly on your shoulder. It is safe to walk here, his thoughts tell you. The ice will carry us. He lowers himself gracefully onto the snow, and with a motion so fluid, it feels like a dream. He slides down the slope. His great body glides across the snowbank, paws tucked slightly, and at the bottom, he lands upon the frozen sea with a softness that belies his size. He looks up, waiting for you. You laugh quietly to yourself, the sound surprising in its ease. Then you sit, lean back, and let yourself slide after him. The snow is cool against your coat, but the glide is gentle and slow, carrying you down like a sled on the world's softest hill. You land lightly beside Solace, your boots kissing the surface of the frozen sea. To your amazement, the ice is not slick, but textured, holding your steps with ease. The two of you begin to walk. Each step sends ripples of light across the ice, as if the stars beneath the surface stir when touched. The sensation is magical, like walking across a pond where galaxies swim just under the surface. You glance back and see your footprints glowing faintly, your path illuminated as though the ice itself is pleased to remember your journey. Above, the aurora ripples in great arcs, its ribbons weaving like fabric drawn by unseen hands. You find yourself breathing in rhythm with its slow, graceful movements. Inhale as the light gathers, exhale as it unfurls across the sky. The pace is calming, steady, reminding you that nothing here is rushed, that you have all the time in the world to wander. After some time, Solace leads you to a small rise in the ice where a cluster of frozen shapes protrudes, strange formations that resemble seats carved by the wind. You settle into one, the surface cold, but immediately molding to your shape until it feels comfortable, almost warm. Solace sits beside you, his fur a white flame under the shifting lights. For a moment, the two of you simply rest, watching the aurora and its reflection. The sky above blooms with color, while the sea below answers with equal brilliance. You are surrounded, embraced on all sides by living light. Then Solace lifts his head and releases a deep, resonant hum. The sound rolls across the ice like a wave. Immediately, the sea responds. The stars beneath the surface brighten, shimmering in patterns that ripple outward from where you sit. It is as if his voice has awakened them. You close your eyes, feeling the hum vibrate through the ground and into your body. It moves up your legs, into your chest, until your whole being is humming gently along with him. You open your mouth and let out a soft sound of your own, a low tone that blends with his. The two hums merge, and the ice glows brighter, the stars below forming shapes, gentle spirals, rings of light, drifting constellations that move like a dance. Together, you and Solace sing without words. The frozen sea becomes an instrument, its notes shimmering upward into the sky. The aurora responds, pulsing brighter, casting cascades of green and violet over the world. It feels as if the sky, the sea, and your very breath are part of one song, one rhythm of peace and endless night. When the hum fades, the stars slowly dim back to their resting glow. Silence returns, deeper now, fuller. Solace leans gently against you, his fur brushing your arm, and you feel the quiet gratitude in his presence. No words are spoken, but you know he is telling you, you belong to this calm. It is yours to keep. After a long while, he rises again, his movement slow and unhurried. He looks toward the horizon, where a faint glow of silver seems to shimmer at the edge of the frozen plain. The lanterns have returned, lining a path across the ice, their golden flames bobbing in the distance like patient companions. It is time, his presence tells you. You stand, still light, with calm, and follow. Each lantern flickers kindly as you approach, as though bowing in greeting. The ice beneath continues to glow faintly where you step, marking your path with a trail of stars. Ahead, the path leads toward the silver glow. As you walk, the sound of soft wings returns the moon moths from earlier, drifting down once more to accompany you. They circle gently around you and solace, their movements slow, deliberate, like brushstrokes painting the air. The silver glow grows brighter, and you realize it is not a lantern nor a crystal, but something larger, more luminous, waiting beyond the horizon. You feel anticipation rise, not sharp or urgent, but tender, like the moment before dawn. Solace's eyes meet yours. They are steady, reassuring. The night still has many wonders, his voice in your heart says, and each one will bring you deeper into peace. Together, you step forward, lanterns and moths guiding your way toward the glowing silver mystery that waits across the frozen sea. The silver glow on the horizon grows with each step, no longer just a shimmer, but a soft radiance spilling upward, as though dawn itself had chosen to rise here in the middle of the night. The lanterns guide you faithfully, each flame bending in the gentle breeze, while the moon moths circle lazily above, their wings brushing the air like strokes of silk. As you and Solace approach, the glow begins to take form. You see tall shapes rising from the ice trees, but not like any you have known. These are silver trees, their trunks luminous as if carved from moonlight, their branches etched with delicate veins of light. Each branch spreads wide, and from them hang leaves that shimmer like sheets of crystal. The leaves tinkle faintly when the wind passes through, creating a sound like thousands of tiny bells, soft and harmonious. The silver grove stretches in a quiet circle on the frozen sea, a forest of light standing where no forest should be. At its center glows a great tree, larger and brighter than all the others, its branches reaching high into the night sky, as though it were trying to brush the aurora itself. The air inside the grove is different, warmer, scented with something both sweet and fresh, like lilies touched with snow. You step between the first of the glowing trunks, and the sound greets you. It is music without instruments, created only by the trembling leaves and the wind weaving gently among them. The tones rise and fall, forming a melody that feels familiar, as though you had once heard it in a dream. It is soothing in a way that enters not just your ears but your whole body, as if your bones themselves are listening. Solace pads quietly beside you, his white fur now tinged with silver as the grove's light brushes across him. He pauses beneath a tree and looks up. You follow his gaze and notice something remarkable. The leaves themselves seem to hold faint images. In one, you glimpse a snowy owl gliding across the night. In another, you see a cabin glowing with lamplight, smoke curling from its chimney. In another, a child drifts into sleep while listening to a story whispered by a gentle voice. These are dream leaves, Solace communicates softly. Each one carries a memory of rest, a fragment of peace. The grove holds them until the world is ready to dream again. You reach out and brush your fingers against a low branch. A single leaf detaches, drifting gently downward like a snowflake. You catch it in your palm, and for a moment, a vision enters you. You are lying beneath a heavy quilt, the sound of rain pattering against the roof, the scent of fresh bread rising from a kitchen below. The warmth is so vivid it nearly brings tears to your eyes. Then, with a shimmer, the leaf dissolves into silver dust, leaving only the comfort it carried behind. Solace nudges your shoulder lightly, urging you onward. You walk together to the great tree at the center of the grove. Its trunk is wide enough that you could not wrap your arms around it, and its branches arc so high they seem to brush the stars. At the base of the tree, the snow glows softly, as if the ground itself has been illuminated. Here, the air is still, reverent. You and Solace settle beneath its branches. The great bear lowers himself slowly, curling into the snow with the grace of a cloud coming to rest. You lean against him, feeling the vibration of his breath, steady and grounding. Above you, the branches sway gently, and silver leaves shimmer like 1,000 tiny lanterns. The music of the grove shifts here. It is deeper, slower, resonant, as though the great tree is singing a lullaby meant only for those who have chosen to sit beneath it. The song enters your heart, spreading outward like ripples in calm water. Your breath slows even more, matching the rhythm of the tree's ancient hum. As you sit there, you notice a soft glow at the tree's base. Small sprouts are pushing through the snow, tiny saplings made of light. They glow faintly, their branches delicate as glass. Solace touches one with his paw, and it shivers with a silver gleam. These are seeds of serenity, he shares gently. Each visitor may take one. When planted in thought, it grows into calm, no matter where you are. A sapling leans toward you, its glow brighter, as though it recognizes you. You cup it carefully, and the moment your hands close around it, it transforms into a single silver seed, warm against your skin. You tuck it into your coat pocket beside the aurora star and the memory crystal, and you feel them all humming softly together, a trio of guardians resting near your heart. The grove continues to sing, a lullaby without words. You lose yourself in the sound, in the flicker of leaves, in the comfort of Solace's steady warmth at your side. The world outside feels distant, unimportant. Here, there is only peace, only the gentle night. After what feels like both a moment and an eternity, Solace stirs. He rises slowly, snow cascading from his fur like soft feathers. He looks toward the edge of the grove, where the lanterns appear once more, their golden flames waiting patiently. The path continues, leading away from the trees and back toward the open horizon. You stand, brushing snow from your coat. As you take one last look at the silver grove, you notice that the great tree's branches seem to bow ever so slightly, as though acknowledging your visit. A silver leaf drifts down, but instead of falling to the ground, it dissolves into the air, its dust sparkling briefly before fading. You and Solace step beyond the trees, the sound of their music lingering behind you like the echo of a lullaby. Ahead, the lanterns flicker in a gentle curve, leading across the frozen plain once more. The air feels lighter now, as though the grove's peace is traveling with you. Together, you follow the golden lights, walking slowly, breathing deeply, ready for the next wonder the night will offer. The lanterns lead you steadily across the frozen plain, their glow shimmering like a golden thread against the endless silver of the night. Solace walks close by, his breath rising in faint clouds that curl upward and vanish into the star-swept sky. The air is calm, and though the cold brushes your cheeks, it feels softer now, less sharp, like velvet stretched thin across your skin. In the distance, you notice a soft haze forming across the ice, a ribbon of mist that gleams faintly under the aurora. As you draw nearer, the haze takes shape, lifting from the surface of the sea like a bridge spun of moonlight. It arches gracefully across a wide stretch of water, its edges shimmering, its center glowing as though stitched with starlight. The lanterns stop at the foot of the bridge, their flames bowing in a final nod, and then fall silent, letting the bridge itself become your guide. You pause with Solace at its entrance. The bridge looks delicate, too delicate to hold your weight. Yet as Solace places one great paw upon it, the mist firms beneath him, supporting him as if it had always been solid. He turns, his dark, gentle eyes resting on you, and you understand. It is safe. You step onto the bridge. The surface feels cool, but not cold, soft as walking across a cloud. With each footstep, ripples of light spread outward, glowing rings that vanish into the mist. Solace walks ahead, his presence steady, and together you begin to cross. The air above the bridge is different. It smells of salt and fresh snow, but also carries the faint fragrance of something floral, like blossoms that bloom only at midnight. The aurora glimmers overhead, and its colors seem closer here, as though the bridge has lifted you into the sky. You feel as if you are no longer just walking over the frozen sea, you are walking between worlds. Far below, you glimpse the water. Unlike the solid ice behind you, here the sea lies open, unfrozen, a mirror of liquid silver. Its surface reflects the aurora, but the colors are softer, blurred like watercolor, spreading across paper. Occasionally, you see faint flashes beneath the water, shapes that look like glowing fish, drifting like comets through a starry current. They rise for a moment, scatter light, then dive again into the depths. The bridge hums faintly under your feet, a tone so low it feels like a heartbeat. It vibrates into your body, soothing, steadying, as though reminding you each step is safe, each breath is guided. You close your eyes for a moment, and the hum becomes part of your breath, part of your pulse, weaving itself into your calm. Halfway across, the mist thickens, swirling gently around you. You can no longer see the edges of the sea, only light and haze. Solace pauses, lifting his head as if listening to something beyond hearing. You follow his gaze, and suddenly the mist begins to shape itself. Forms emerge within it, soft, glowing figures. They drift across the bridge like gentle travelers. Some look like deer with antlers made of light, others like great birds with wings of smoke and stars. They pass without sound, leaving behind trails of luminous dust that dissolve into the air. One pauses before you, a fox-shaped figure with eyes that gleam like lanterns. It gazes at you, then bows its head before stepping onward, vanishing into the haze. These are keepers of the mist, Solace communicates gently. They carry the dreams of those who wander. The figures bring with them no fear, only a sense of companionship, as if you are part of a long procession of dreamers who have crossed here before. The mist swirls, and the figures fade, leaving you and Solace once again alone upon the glowing span. As you near the far side, the mist begins to thin, revealing a shore of snow and ice bathed in silver light. The bridge lowers gently until it meets the ground, dissolving as you step off. Behind you, it shimmers once more, then fades into the night, leaving only the memory of its glow. You stand upon the shore, and the world feels different now, quieter, deeper, as though you have crossed not just a distance, but a threshold. The aurora ripples above, softer here, almost like fabric drawn close around you. The ground slopes upward into rolling hills of snow, dotted with faint glimmers of light, like tiny lanterns waiting to be discovered. Solace lowers his head, brushing his nose gently against your hand, a silent reassurance. Then he begins to walk toward the hills, his steps slow, steady, guiding you forward once more. The sound of the sea fades behind you, replaced by a hush even more profound than silence. It is the hush of snow-draped hills, waiting patiently, of a night that knows it has all the time in the world, and so you follow, each breath matching the rhythm of your steps, each step carrying you deeper into the gentle mysteries of the night. The slope rises gently before you, smooth and white, as though the earth itself has pulled a blanket snugly over its shoulders. Your boots sink slightly with each step, the snow soft and powdery, releasing a faint crunch that fades quickly into the hush of the night. Solace moves easily ahead, his great paws leaving wide impressions that guide your way. Each paw print glows faintly for a moment, then fades, as though the snow itself wishes to remember him, but not hold him too tightly. The hills curve one after another, rolling like waves frozen mid-motion. Each crest leads to another, and the rhythm of climbing and descending feels like breathing a steady inhale, a gentle exhale. The aurora above has softened here, its colors stretched thin, like delicate threads woven across the sky. Green ribbons drift lazily, tinged with silver, as though the heavens are sighing in their sleep. The air is clean, clear, almost weightless. When you inhale, it feels as though it polishes your thoughts, leaving behind only the simplest truths: that you are safe, that you are guided, that you belong to this night. As you crest one hill, you notice tiny sparks glimmering in the snow around you. At first, you think they are reflections of the aurora, but when you bend closer, you see that they are small crystals, glowing faintly like stars buried in the drifts. They pulse gently as you pass, acknowledging your presence before dimming again. Starlight seeds, Solace communicates softly. They fall from the sky when a dream finds a place to rest. You crouch and touch one. It is cool against your glove, but when you hold it longer, it warms, humming faintly in your palm. You return it to the snow, and it nestles in as though content to sleep again, its glow dimming to a gentle sigh. Solace pauses on a hilltop, waiting for you. When you join him, he gestures with his nose toward the horizon. There, the hills stretch endlessly, glowing faintly under the aurora, each curve softer than the last. In the far distance, you see something unusual, a cluster of lights moving slowly across the snow, golden and steady, like a caravan of lanterns carried by invisible hands. You and Solace walk toward it. The descent into the valley is slow, the snow cushioning every step, your pace naturally easing. The crystals in the drifts twinkle faintly with each shift of your boots, like notes of a quiet piano played far away. When you reach the bottom, you find the source of the moving lights. Snow hares, dozens of them, each with a lantern glowing softly atop its back. The hares move in silence, their paws barely disturbing the snow, their long ears brushing the air like quills writing across parchment. They do not scatter when you and Solace approach. Instead, they pause, their lanterns flickering gently, as though welcoming you into their company. One hare steps closer, its fur gleaming silver under the aurora. Its lantern glows warmly, and as it passes near your legs, you feel a wave of comfort, like being wrapped briefly in a quilt just pulled from the hearth. The hair continues on, and the feeling lingers, a memory of warmth tucked inside your chest. These are keepers of the path, Solace explains in his calm way. They carry light for wanderers who might lose their way in the endless snow. You watch as the hares resume their journey, climbing the next hill in a glowing line, their lanterns swaying gently. The sight is soothing, almost hypnotic, the kind of rhythm that could lull even the busiest mind into stillness. When the hares vanish beyond the hill, the valley feels even quieter than before, as though their silence has left behind a deeper calm. You and Solace linger for a while, listening to the soft sweep of the breeze over the drifts. Then, together, you begin the climb again. At the top of the next hill, the view opens wide. You can see the entire sweep of the snowy landscape, rolling in every direction, glowing faintly under the aurora's patient light. Yet, in the near distance, you notice something remarkable. A wide, flat expanse where the snow seems smoother, shinier, as though a great sheet of glass has been laid over the earth. Solace tilts his head toward it. His message is clear. That is where we are going next. The descent is gentle, and as you walk, the snow beneath your feet gradually changes. It becomes firmer, smoother, until at last you step onto the glistening surface. It feels like ice, but warmer, as if it has been touched by starlight. You glance down and realize it is not ordinary ice at all. Beneath the surface, shapes of clouds drift slowly, as if a fragment of sky has been captured and laid upon the ground. The mirror lake, Solace communicates, his deep presence soft as fur. You stand at the edge, gazing into its depths, where stars, clouds, and faint streaks of aurora drift lazily. The surface reflects everything around it perfectly. The sky, the hills, even yourself, but softened, dreamlike, as though showing not what is, but what could be. Solace steps forward, his reflection stretching beside him in the lake, larger than life, glowing faintly as though made of silver. He looks at you, waiting, and you understand. It is time to walk across the mirror lake. You place one cautious foot onto the surface, expecting the slick slide of ice. But instead, the mirror lake holds you with surprising steadiness, as if it has been waiting just for your step. The ground beneath is smooth, yet firm, warm as though it carries a hidden fire. Each time you shift your weight, light ripples outward, gentle circles of silver and pale blue, spreading across the lake like whispers through quiet air. Solace moves beside you, his great paws leaving luminous impressions that fade slowly, glowing faintly as if they want to linger a little longer. Together, you step further onto the mirror lake, and at once, the world changes. Beneath the clear surface, clouds drift lazily, their edges tinged with the colors of the aurora. Stars sparkle there too, scattered like pearls in water. It feels as though you are walking not above a lake, but across a sky turned upside down. When you glance down, your reflection looks back, but it is softened, dreamlike, a gentler version of yourself. The reflection smiles faintly, even when you are not, as though it knows a secret about your peace that you have not yet discovered. The aurora above bends lower, its ribbons weaving directly into the mirrored surface, so that you walk inside a tunnel of color, both above and below. The hues shift slowly, green fading into silver, silver blossoming into violet, every movement drawn out like the strokes of a painter working with infinite patience. The air is very still here. The only sound is the faint ripple of light each time you take a step. Even your breath feels hushed, carrying into the vastness without echo. You become aware of your own body in a new way, the rhythm of your breathing, the softness of your steps, the ease in your shoulders, the warmth of Solace's presence beside you. Everything feels slowed to its gentlest form. Midway across, the lake begins to shimmer more brightly. Shapes emerge within its depths, soft, glowing figures, like memories turned into light. You see fleeting images, a child tucked beneath a quilt, drifting into sleep, a traveler resting by a fire while snow falls outside, a bird nesting safely in the crook of a tree. Each vision is brief, dissolving as you pass, but each one leaves behind a trace of comfort, like the memory of being held. Solace pauses and lowers his head to the lake. His reflection ripples outward, growing larger until it fills the surface with light. You see him not just as he is, but as something more, a guardian of stillness, a keeper of soft nights, a gentle friend who belongs to all who need rest. He looks at you, and though he does not speak aloud, you feel the message as clearly as words. This piece belongs to you as much as it belongs to me. You kneel and press your palm against the lake. The surface is cool, yet it warms instantly to your touch. Light gathers beneath your hand, coiling gently until it rises, forming a small sphere no larger than a pebble, glowing with the colors of the aurora. You lift it carefully, and it hovers for a moment before settling into your palm. The glow is steady, a pulse of calm, as though the lake itself has entrusted you with a fragment of its serenity. You tuck the sphere into your coat pocket, where it joins the aurora star, the memory crystal, and the silver seed from the grove. Together, they hum faintly, a chorus of gentle light close to your heart. The path across the lake continues, and you and Solace walk slowly, savoring the stillness. Near the far edge, the reflection shifts again. This time, it shows not just the aurora or distant stars, but a forest, dark, quiet, yet filled with a faint green glow. The trees sway in silence, their branches brushing together like hands in prayer. When you lift your gaze, you see it ahead. The edge of the lake gives way to a line of tall pines, their trunks silvered by frost, their tips brushing the aurora as though whispering to the sky. The green glow pulses softly between them, calling gently like a lantern glimpsed from afar. Solace steps onto the snowy shore, and you follow. Behind you, the mirror lake glimmers one last time, its surface rippling with your reflection until it dissolves into stillness. Ahead, the pine forest waits, its glow beckoning, promising another layer of calm yet to be uncovered. You take a deep breath, the air here tinged with pine resin and something faintly sweet, like distant blossoms. Solace glances at you, his eyes deep with reassurance. Together, you step into the forest, where the next wonder of the night is ready to unfold. The first step into the forest is like slipping into another world. The tall pines rise around you, their trunks silver with frost, their branches whispering as the aurora brushes their tips. The snow beneath your boots is softer here, muffling each footfall so that the world seems to hush in respect. The air is filled with the rich, calming scent of pine resin and wood smoke, touched with something faintly sweet, like honey warmed over a fire. Each breath feels grounding, as though the forest is reminding you that you are safe, sheltered under its watchful boughs. Soft green light glows between the trees, not from lanterns this time, but from the forest itself. Moss carpets the bases of the trunks, shining faintly like stars that have come down to rest. Every step you take stirs a subtle shimmer, as though the ground is blessing your passage. Solace walks steadily beside you, his fur glowing pale in the forest light. His movements are quiet, almost reverent, as though this place is sacred even to him. He pauses often, lifting his head to listen. You follow his gaze upward, and you realize the branches are alive with movement, tiny creatures made of light darting from bough to bough. At first, they look like fireflies, but when one drifts closer, you see it clearly. A small, delicate bird, its body translucent, glowing faintly with green and silver. Its wings beat in silence, scattering sparks of light with every movement. It hovers near you for a moment, its round eyes bright with curiosity, before fluttering back into the canopy. They are dream keepers, Solace communicates gently. They watch over the forest, carrying fragments of sleep in their wings. You walk deeper, and the forest responds to your presence. The trees seem to lean slightly toward the path, their branches swaying in rhythm with your steps. The glow of the moss grows brighter, painting the snow with patches of emerald and jade. The dream keeper birds follow from above, their faint light weaving into gentle patterns like constellations moving between branches. At the heart of the forest, you reach a clearing. The trees encircle it like guardians, and in the center stands a stone well, its rim frosted with ice crystals that sparkle like diamonds. From within, the well rises a gentle glow, pulsing slowly like the steady beat of a sleeping heart. You step closer, leaning over the rim. The water inside is perfectly still, reflecting the aurora above. Yet, as you gaze, the reflection changes. Instead of the night sky, you see yourself not as you are now, but as you are in moments of perfect rest. You see yourself curled beneath blankets, your breath slow and easy, your face serene. The sight fills you with a quiet joy, as though the well has shown you a promise of peace that is already yours. You dip your hand into the water. It is cool, smooth, soothing. When you lift your hand, droplets cling to your fingers, glowing faintly. As they fall back into the well, the ripples they create sing softly a tone like distant chimes. Solace lowers his head and laps from the well. His reflection in the water glows brighter, showing him not only as the great bear beside you, but also as a presence woven into the fabric of night itself, eternal and gentle. He looks at you, and you feel the message in your heart. Drink, and the forest will walk with you wherever you go. You cup your hands and lift the glowing water to your lips. The taste is unlike anything you have known. Fresh as snowmelt, warm as honey, light as breath. As it flows into you, your body responds with deep ease. Muscles soften, your mind grows quieter, and a calm so steady fills you that it feels as though you are being gently rocked to sleep. When you step back, the well's glow lingers within you, a warmth nestled in your chest. The dreamkeeper birds flutter lower, circling you and Solace, scattering faint sparks that land softly in your hair and on your shoulders. They do not burn. Instead, they feel like tiny kisses of cool light. The clearing holds you in its embrace for a long moment. Then, from beyond the trees, you notice a soft shift in color. The faint green glow of the moss gives way to a pale lavender light, spilling gently into the forest. Solace lifts his head toward it, his ears flicking forward, his body already attuned to the next wonder, waiting for you. The two of you leave the clearing together. The birds rise back into the branches, their wings scattering light that fades into the canopy. Behind you, the well hums softly, a lullaby that will echo in your heart long after you've left. Ahead, the lavender glow grows stronger, painting the snow in shades of dawn though the night still holds. The trees thin, their tall forms giving way to open air. You step carefully forward, your breath mingling with the colors as you approach the next secret of the night's journey. The trees part at last, and you and Solace step out of the pine forest into a wide, open valley. The snow here is smooth and untouched, lying in long, gentle folds that shine faintly under the aurora. But it is not the stars above or the snow itself that takes your breath. It is the light. The entire valley glows with a pale lavender radiance, as though dawn has stolen quietly into the night and painted everything with soft violet hues. The snow seems lit from within, and a faint, sweet fragrance drifts across the air, the scent of lilacs and wild lavender blossoms. Even though no flowers bloom in this frozen land, the air feels warmer here, tender and embracing. As you inhale, you feel your chest expand with ease, your breath infused with the subtle calm of the valley. It is a place that seems designed for rest, a cradle of light that holds you gently. Solace pauses at the valley's edge, his fur bathed in lavender glow. He tilts his great head toward you, and though he does not speak aloud, his presence carries words. This is where night becomes dream. You descend the slope slowly, the snow beneath your boots crunching lightly. With each step, the lavender glow deepens, wrapping around you like a soft shawl. The valley floor stretches wide, and in its center you see something remarkable. Fields of low, snow-covered shrubs, glowing faintly purple, their tiny branches tipped with crystalline buds of light. They sway, ever so slightly, though no breeze stirs them. You kneel to touch one of the shrubs, brushing your fingertips across its frosted branches. Immediately, a vision enters your mind, not sharp, not urgent, but soft and fleeting. Like a dream at the edge of waking, you see yourself lying on a hillside, eyes closed, while waves of lavender drift in the breeze. You hear the faint buzz of bees, the gentle rustle of leaves, the sound of your own breath as you sink into a nap so deep it feels endless. The vision lingers for a heartbeat, then fades, leaving behind only its calm. These are dream blooms, Solace communicates gently. They open when the night is ready to cradle you. Each one carries a memory of rest, a gift of ease. You continue through the field of glowing shrubs. Their light brightens faintly as you pass, as though bowing to you. Solace walks steadily at your side, his eyes warm with reflected lavender. He leads you to a rise at the center of the valley, where a wide stone rests, smooth and flat, as though placed there for visitors to sit. You and Solace settle together upon it. The stone, though frosted with snow, feels warm, holding a quiet heat deep within. You lean back against Solace's soft fur, your head resting against his side, and the valley stretches out before you. Lavender light glimmers across the snow, rising into the aurora above. For a moment, the world feels seamless, sky and earth blended together, all part of the same dream. The air hums softly, almost like music. It is not a sound you hear with your ears, but a vibration that fills your body, syncing your breath to the valley's calm rhythm. Inhale, exhale. The valley breathes with you. After some time, you notice movement at the edge of the field. Small shapes emerge, gentle deer, their coats shimmering faintly as though dusted with starlight. They step carefully among the dream blooms, lowering their heads to brush the glowing shrubs with their noses. Wherever they touch, the blooms brighten briefly, releasing a faint mist of lavender light that drifts upward like perfume. The deer glance toward you and solace, their eyes calm, curious, but unafraid. One steps closer, its hooves silent upon the snow. It lowers its head and exhales, sending a puff of glowing mist that drifts around you like a soft veil. The scent of lavender fills your senses, pulling you deeper into serenity. Then, with a gentle nod, the deer turns and rejoins its companions, disappearing again into the glowing fields. You rest there a long while, watching the deer, feeling the warmth of solace, listening to the hum of the valley. Time becomes fluid, stretched thin, until you are no longer sure whether minutes or hours have passed. All you know is that the peace deepens, like layers of soft blankets being pulled one by one around you. Eventually, Solace stirs. He lifts his head, gazing toward the far end of the valley. There, beyond the lavender glow, you see a faint, golden shimmer, like the light of a lantern, waiting beyond the horizon. Solace rises slowly, brushing snow from his coat. His thoughts settle gently into your heart. The valley has given you its calm. Now another wonder waits to show you more. You stand beside him, still carrying the hum of lavender in your chest. Together, you step down from the stone and walk once more through the glowing shrubs. Their branches bow faintly as you pass, their light dimming back into stillness as though returning to sleep. At the far edge of the valley, the lavender glow softens, giving way to the golden shimmer ahead. You and Solace step into it, leaving the valley of dreams behind, yet carrying its peace with you, like a lantern tucked safely in your chest. The lavender glow fades gently behind you, as you and Solace follow the soft shimmer of gold ahead. At first, it is only a faint glimmer, like a single candle seen through mist. But as you draw closer, the light expands, filling the air with a warmth that feels alive, as though the night itself has lit a hearth to welcome you. The snow beneath your feet begins to change. It glows faintly, each step stirring golden sparks that rise and drift upward before dissolving into the air. The ground feels firmer, steadier, as though guiding you towards something sacred. Soon the landscape opens into a wide hollow, encircled by snow-covered ridges. At its center stands a structure, both simple and extraordinary, a great arch of ice, polished smooth, infused with golden light. The arch rises high, curving with elegance, and from its surface hangs long threads of glowing frost, swaying gently like strands of silk. Beneath the arch, the ground glimmers with warmth, the snow glowing as if lit from below. Solace pauses, his eyes glowing softly with reflected gold. His presence settles into your mind like a soft hand resting on your heart. This is the sanctuary of rest, a place where night gathers all its calm. You step beneath the arch. The moment you pass under it, a hush falls, even deeper than the quiet of the valley or the grove. The air itself seems to hold its breath, yet it is not empty. It is full of presence, the kind you feel when sitting by a fire in the company of someone you trust, even if no words are spoken. The snow beneath your feet feels warm now, not hot, but soothing, like a bed of moss bathed in sunlight. You kneel to touch it, and the warmth seeps into your hand, traveling upward through your arm and into your chest. It lingers there, steady, a gentle weight that makes your breath even slower, deeper. In the center of the sanctuary lies a pool, not of water but of light. It glows like liquid gold, rippling softly, its surface never disturbed though it seems alive. You walk closer, your reflection shimmering upon it, not in detail, but in essence. It shows you not how you look, but how you feel, calm, safe, embraced by quiet. Solace lowers his head to the pool and drinks. When he lifts it again, his fur glows brighter, the golden light moving through him like a current. He turns toward you, encouraging you to do the same. You kneel at the edge and dip your hands into the pool. It is warm, silky, weightless. You bring it to your lips, and the taste is like honey mixed with sunlight, smooth and endlessly gentle. The warmth spreads through your body, dissolving every trace of tension. It fills your chest, your arms, your legs, until you feel as though you are glowing softly from within. When you lean back, you notice the threads of frost hanging from the arch have begun to sway more brightly. They chime faintly, producing a music unlike any you have ever heard. It is the sound of sleep itself, long, slow, soft notes that encourage your body to surrender fully, to sink deeper into stillness. Solace lies down beside the pool, curling his great body into the snow. His fur glows with golden hues now, warm and radiant. You rest against him, your head sinking into his side. His breathing is steady, a rhythm so gentle you cannot help but follow it. Inhale, exhale, each breath carrying you further into peace. As you rest there, the sanctuary begins to show you visions, not of dreams, but of feelings. You see golden waves rolling over snowy fields. You see fires glowing in cabins, their warmth spilling into the night. You feel the hush of dawn waiting patiently beyond the horizon. None of it demands your attention. It all simply rests with you, reminding you that peace is not something to chase, but something that welcomes you when you are ready. Time passes differently here. Minutes or hours, there is no distinction. There is only the steady glow of the sanctuary, the hum of Solace's breath, the weightless calm filling your body. At last, Solace stirs. He rises slowly, carefully, as though not to disturb the stillness too much. He looks toward the far edge of the hollow, where another light waits. This one is not lavender, not gold, but pale blue, cool, gentle, like moonlight resting on water. Solace's message enters your heart once more. The night has more gifts yet to share. Let us walk onward. You stand with him, your body lighter now, glowing faintly with the sanctuary's golden touch. As you leave the hollow, the arch hums softly behind you, a farewell like the closing notes of a lullaby. Ahead, the snow glimmers pale blue, guiding you toward the next wonder, where moonlight itself seems to have gathered to meet you. The golden glow of the sanctuary fades gently behind you as you and Solace follow the pale shimmer ahead. At first, the blue light looks faint, no brighter than moonlight spilled across snow. But as you draw nearer, it grows, spreading like a veil until the air itself is bathed in its softness. The ground changes beneath your boots. The snow here is firmer, smoother, like polished marble dusted with frost. It reflects the light above, creating a path that glows as though woven from moonbeams. The air feels cooler but soothing, crisp enough to refresh without ever biting. Each breath carries the taste of still water, pure and clear, as though drawn from a mountain spring. Soon the land opens into a glade, a wide circle surrounded by slender birches. Their white trunks gleam softly, and their branches stretch high, catching the pale glow. The snow within the circle glimmers faintly blue, as though starlight has sunk into it and chosen to stay. At the center of the glade lies a pool of water, unlike the golden light you saw before. This pool is liquid moonlight. Its surface ripples faintly, even though no wind stirs, and every ripple sends silver waves across the snow. The pool glows so brightly it looks almost alive, breathing softly in rhythm with the night. You and Solace step into the circle together. The moment you cross its boundary, a deep calm settles over you. It is quieter here than anywhere you have been, yet the silence is not empty. It feels full thick with presence, like a blanket drawn gently over your shoulders. Solace lowers himself near the pool, his eyes reflecting the pale blue glow. His presence drifts into your thoughts, soft as ever. This is the glade of moonlight. Here, dreams gather their strength before flowing into the world. You kneel at the edge of the pool. Its surface mirrors the sky above, the aurora drifting faintly, stars sparkling in their eternal patience. Yet, when you lean closer, you notice something more. The pool reflects not only the sky, but also your thoughts, the peaceful ones you carry now. You see yourself walking slowly through forests, resting by hearths, listening to the whisper of rain. You realize the pool does not show every thought, only those softened enough to rest. You dip your fingers into the water. It feels cool at first, then warms instantly, wrapping your skin in silk. When you lift your hand, droplets fall back, and each droplet becomes a silver spark before fading into the surface. One droplet lingers longer than the rest, glowing faintly on your palm. Without thinking, you press it to your chest. It sinks into you like a heartbeat, and you feel lighter, as though a quiet song now lives within you. Around the edges of the glade, movement stirs. From the birch trees emerge gentle shapes, creatures woven from moonlight itself. A doe steps forward, her body glowing faintly, her eyes pools of silver. Behind her, foxes with fur like mist, birds with wings of light, and even a small hare with ears as long as the stars. They gather around the glade, silent, calm, their presence neither startling nor strange. They are guardians of the moonlight, drawn to its glow and to the peace it carries. One fox approaches you, its paws leaving faint silver prints in the snow. It circles once, then sits before you, gazing steadily into your eyes. Its look is not piercing but soothing, as though it is lending you some of its calm. After a moment, it rises, bows its head slightly, and drifts back into the birches. The pool brightens, sending a ripple of silver across the glade. The creatures fade one by one, returning to their places among the trees, leaving only their calm behind. Solace watches quietly, his steady eyes reflecting the light. For a time, you both remain there, breathing with the glade. The silence deepens, and you feel yourself drifting, as though you could fall asleep right here, cradled by moonlight. Your body loosens, your mind floats like a lantern on still water. Eventually, Solace stirs. He rises gracefully, the snow parting softly beneath his weight. His gaze turns toward the far side of the glade, where a narrow arch of birch trees bends over a path, glowing faintly with silver and green. Beyond it, the aurora pulses brighter, as though waiting for you. His thought reaches you, calm and steady. We are nearing the heart of the night's journey. You rise beside him, your steps slow, unhurried. Together you pass under the birch arch, leaving the moonlit glade behind. The silver glow lingers at your back, while ahead, the aurora grows brighter, beckoning you toward its deepest mysteries. The birch arch opens, and you step into a space so vast, it feels like the night itself has bowed open to welcome you. Before you rises a valley, unlike any you've yet seen, wide, open, and crowned with light. The aurora no longer hangs far above as a distant ribbon. Here, it descends low, wrapping around the valley in sweeping curtains, cascading in green, silver, violet, and faint rose. It feels like entering a cathedral of the sky. The aurora arches overhead in luminous vaults, its ripples and folds like stained glass in motion. Columns of light descend, shimmering as though woven from silk and stars, casting soft beams across the snow. Every color is gentle, hushed, never dazzling, only comforting like a choir that sings in whispers just for you. Solace steps into the valley, his fur catching the glow. He looks smaller now, though no less steady, as if even his great form has chosen humility before the aurora's embrace. His message hums through your chest. This is the heart of the night, the place where all journeys of peace come to rest. You walk forward slowly, almost instinctively lowering your pace, as if the very air has asked for reverence. The snow here shines like crystal dust, crunching softly under your boots, but each sound is softened immediately by the vast, listening stillness. In the center of the valley stands a circle of ice pillars. They rise high, transparent and flawless, each one lit from within by the aurora's colors. Together they form a ring, like an altar of light. Between them, the snow glows softly, as if holding the memory of countless dreamers who have stood here before. You and Solace enter the circle. The moment you do, the pillars respond. They brighten in sequence, one after another, until the entire ring hums faintly with light. The sound that follows is not of wind, nor ice, nor water. It is a chorus, low, resonant, wordless. The pillars sing, and their song blends with the aurora above, filling the valley with music too vast for language. The sound pours into you like water filling a vessel. You feel it in your chest, your hands, your feet. Your breath matches its rhythm, slow, deep, endlessly calm. Each note seems to peel away another layer of weight you didn't know you carried, until all that remains is lightness, like being held afloat by invisible arms. Solace lowers himself into the snow, his eyes half closed, his great body glowing faintly with each wave of sound. You sit beside him, leaning into his warmth, and together you listen. For a time, you are both part of the cathedral, part of its endless hush. Above, the aurora shifts. Colors deepen, streams of violet and jade crossing like rivers in the sky. At the apex of its arch, a shape begins to form a great, shimmering crown of light, slow and steady, unfolding petal by petal like a luminous flower. Its glow washes over the pillars, which respond by casting beams upward, weaving themselves into the aurora's bloom. You close your eyes. Even without seeing, you feel the light surrounding you, seeping into you, settling into every corner of your being. It does not overwhelm, it soothes. It does not burn, it heals. It tells you, without words, you are safe, you are whole, you are home in this night. The sound of the pillars softens, tapering into silence. The aurora continues to ripple above, its crown slowly closing, folding itself back into gentle ribbons. The valley exhales. You exhale with it, your body sinking further into stillness. After a long, timeless while, Solace stirs. He rises, his fur dusted with silver sparks that cling for a moment before floating away. He turns toward the far side of the valley. There, at the base of the glowing slopes, you see a faint opening in the snow, an archway leading downward, lit by a tender blue glow. The bear's thoughts reach you, steady and kind. The cathedral has given its blessing. Now it is time for the final rest. You stand, your body lighter than air, your heart glowing as though carrying a lantern inside it. Together, you and Solace step out of the circle of pillars. The snow beneath your boots feels softer now, as if cushioning you for what lies ahead. You follow him toward the archway, where the light glimmers softly, like the promise of sleep itself, waiting to cradle you in its final embrace. The archway at the far side of the Aurora Cathedral curves low, inviting rather than imposing. You and Solace step into it together, and immediately the world grows quieter, as though the valley behind has closed a soft door. The blue glow within deepens, spreading across the walls of ice and snow until the passage itself feels like a tunnel carved from moonlight. Your footsteps make almost no sound now. The snow underfoot is soft and velvety, as if it has been waiting for you to arrive. The air is cool, but gentle, carrying the faint scent of chamomile and fresh rain. With every breath, your body feels lighter, your mind softer, as though the tunnel itself is coaxing you towards stillness. At last, the passage opens into a round chamber. It is small compared to the cathedral, but warmer, more intimate. The walls are lined with soft glowing ice, pale blue and silver, shimmering faintly like candle flames. At the chamber's center lies a great bed of snow, piled high and smooth, yet glowing faintly from within. It looks impossibly soft, as though a cloud has descended here to wait for you. Solace steps forward and lowers himself onto the glowing bed, curling his massive body into its hollow. He turns his head toward you, eyes half-lidded, his presence gentle and steady. This is the place where the journey ends. Here, the night will hold you until sleep takes you fully. You approach the bed. The snow beneath your hands is unlike any snow you have touched. It is warm, supple, giving way under your fingers as though it has been shaped for comfort. When you lie down beside Solace, the surface molds to your body instantly, holding you in a perfect cradle of softness. The bear shifts slightly, wrapping his warmth around you. His fur smells faintly of cedar, of clean snow, of something ancient and safe. His breathing is deep, unhurried, and you find yourself matching it without effort. Inhale, exhale, each breath slower than the last. Above, the ceiling of the chamber glows with a soft dance of light, not as vast as the aurora, but gentler, like the last embers of a fire before sleep. Blue and silver hues drift lazily across the curved surface, moving so slowly they could almost be still. They wash over you, soothing every thought, guiding your mind toward the threshold of dreams. You feel the warmth of the golden sanctuary in your chest, the calm of the lavender valley in your breath, the clarity of the moonlit glade in your thoughts, and the quiet blessing of the aurora still shimmering deep within. Each gift you gathered, star, crystal, seed, sphere, rests softly inside you, no longer separate, but part of you now. They hum together like a lullaby, their song weaving seamlessly into the rhythm of your breath. Solace sighs, a deep rumble that vibrates through the bed of snow and into your body. The sound is not just noise, it is reassurance, an anchor, a reminder that you are safe in this final resting place. His eyes close, and his presence drifts into silence, but the warmth of his calm remains, wrapping you like a second blanket. You close your own eyes. The glow above fades into soft darkness, not heavy, not empty, but welcoming. Your thoughts drift like feathers, slow and weightless, until they settle at last. Your body sinks deeper into the snowbed, supported perfectly, as though the earth itself is holding you. There is nothing left to do, no path to follow, no light to chase. Only rest, endless and tender, waiting for you with open arms. The chamber hums softly, the final lullaby of the night. It whispers, you are safe, you are loved, you are home, and with that, you let go. You surrender to the stillness, to the warmth, to the gentle rhythm of solace's breath. Slowly, peacefully, you drift into the deepest sleep, where dreams rise like soft tides and carry you away, cradled by the magical night you shared with the gentle polar bear.